Okay, so when I used to play video games, I used to be a hoarder. And what I mean by that is I used to just always try to hoard all the resources and never spend it. So for example, like let's say Minecraft, I would mine all these diamonds and I would just have them sitting in my chests and I would never spend them. I'll just leave them there just so I can look at them. And it was the same thing with other games as well, just any other game, like, I don't know, Subway Surfers. I used to always just, play the game to collect the coins, like basically the currency, but I'll never spend it. I just like seeing the number of coins that I had, like, stack up and go up over time. But I never, like, wanted to spend it because I felt like, nah, that's a waste. I should just, keep stacking, That way it's more conservative, it's better in case down the line, if I need anything, I'll have the money that I need. And this is basically the approach I had for any video game that I played. I would just hoard all the resources and never spend it on anything. And it was only until I remember one time, I think this was for Minecraft, it was a day where I decided, okay, this is enough. I'm too addicted to this game. I'm going to delete it. But before I could delete it, I was like, okay, I got all these diamonds. I may as well just, use them. Just, make them into like saws, make a house out of diamond, or just whatever like weird thing I can. Just spend everything that I had. And that's what I did. And I have to say that that day was probably the most fun I've ever had. Now, it wasn't just with Minecraft, it was with all these other games that I eventually deleted. I just went on a mass spending spree and I spent all the money, all the resources that I had on whatever I could. And it got me thinking, if I was so happy spending all this stuff, then shouldn't I have been doing this in the first place? Like, why did I start hoarding all these resources and never like, like a little goblin, never wanting to spend it on anything, if it did bring me joy? Now, the reason I share this story with you is not to do with anything with like video games. Like, sure, spend your resources, stack your resources, whatever. I'm also talking about life because I realize this mentality of just stacking resources or like money or whatever and never spending it is a mentality that I transferred over to real life. For example, in real life, I would kind of have the same thing. I would just like every single dollar I earn, I would just put in my savings account, never spend it, never buy anything, never go out, never go to like, any club or any event if it requires money. Just, see my savings account go up. That's my only goal in life. And I realized that's honestly a shit experience. Like, what's the point in just like stacking money in your bank account just to see the number go up, or put it in like an index fund and like become a millionaire in like 700 years? Like, the joy in life I realize is not from accumulating wealth or accumulating any particular thing. It's almost the opposite, which is spending it, which sounds like almost like kind of weird because if you spend too much, then yes, like sure, that's bad, but obviously you need like a balance between like accumulating whatever money, resources, whatever, and actually spending it. But you don't want to get to the stage like me in that video game where you just spend your whole life accumulating this thing, whether that be money or something else, and you never spend it at all. You never enjoy like the fruits of your labor. And it got me like thinking, like, if this was the approach I had for life, and by the time like I'm on my deathbed, I just have millions of dollars in my bank account, but I've never spent it. That would be a sad reality because I wouldn't even be able to spend it at that time. Like when I'm, I don't know, like old, if I had that much amount of money and I wanted to spend it, I can't because I'm old. I can barely move. Like unless I could buy like a golden wheelchair or something. And this concept that I just shared with you is something called Die with Zero, and it's a great book. And one of the key takeaways I got from that is that memories are the best investment. Like rather than accumulating all this money and just leave it in an account just to see the number go up, actually spend it on meaningful experiences, whether that be friends with family, on a trip. But regardless of whatever you choose, investing it into memories and using it to enjoy the present is one of the best investments you can make. And I realized that from playing video games. There's no joy in just accumulating a bunch of diamonds or gold if you don't actually spend it eventually. And the takeaway from all of this is don't be a hoarder. Like when I was playing video games, I would just like try and stack all these resources as much as possible and never spend it because I had a scarcity mindset. I thought something bad would happen if I didn't have all these, things stacked up. But in reality, the consequences are never as bad as you may think. And oftentimes the consequences are just another memory to reflect on years down the line. And so that's the idea of dying with zero. So just want to share that with you. Hope that's helpful.